Hello and welcome everyone to AARP Wyoming's Video Voter Guide Series for 2024. I'm Tom Laycock with AARP Wyoming, and today we're joined by Laura McKee, who is running for the Wyoming Legislature in House District 39, which is located in Sweetwater County. AARP has a proud 40-year history of nonpartisan voter engagement and does not endorse or oppose candidates. Nor does AARP make contributions to political campaigns or candidates at any level. Instead, we ask questions so our members understand where the candidates stand on important issues and can make their own decisions on Election Day. Today, we'll ask Ms. McKee 3 questions, allowing for a 1-minute and 30-second response to each. Then we'll give her 2 minutes to make her pitch to the voters of House District 39. So, Ms. McKee, our first question is this. Over the last 2 years, the Wyoming Legislature has made providing property tax relief for its citizens a priority. In your view, what's the most effective way to provide relief while balancing revenue needs for schools, counties, and other entities that rely on property tax to maintain sustainable funding?
Yeah, so I believe that the most effective way to provide tax relief is to cut the wasteful spending that we have. We have a lot of it and in all different entities. And I believe that if their budgets are cut, that they will self-audit because they'll have to get, things to work with what they're given. And we need limited government. We need to quit growing government. And the tax relief that we received was not at all what we needed. We needed a tourniquet and we got a Band-Aid, and maybe an infected Band-Aid at that. So we really do need to do some work for the citizens of Wyoming. We have a large surplus, and we need to use that surplus to help the people in Wyoming and to give them alternative ways to be able to spend their money on things that they need. It's really expensive. We have a lot of inflation, and that tax, of course, with the schools, because the mill levy is determined with the schools, and it does affect how much the schools are spending, affect how much we're paying in taxes, and we're paying $20,000 per student or more depending on the area, and that's just seems really high. So we just need to get back to some limited government and some better spending to help out our citizens to have the money they need to live.
Our second question for today is this. Wyoming's population of those aged 60 and over grew by 47% from 2010 to 2020, while the state's entire population grew just 2%. We also know 64% of all nursing home beds in Wyoming are paid for right now through the state Medicaid program. What do you see as the greatest barrier to helping our older adults age in their homes and communities, and what solutions would you provide?
So I talked with our local senior center here about the things that they're dealing with and what they feel like, because I'm not an expert at that for sure. And so I asked them what they feel like would help people stay in their homes. And they said a lot of seniors are struggling to get their utilities paid. And with them, they're able to get them on some programs that help them to pay those utilities, the gas and electric. They also can help with like some cleaning, doing some shopping and picking up their prescriptions. But unfortunately, she said there's not a lot of grants available, and that's really what they need. They need volunteers, they need grants, just different things to try to help them to be able to provide for these needs for seniors. They could provide meals for them, and their meals are about $5 for the seniors for a meal, which is really good. And then all that money goes back in to help provide future meals. So I think there's a lot that we need to do. We need to not forget about our seniors. Our aging population, like you said, is a lot, and it's very difficult for them because they're very limited on Social Security. We need to make sure that's there and secure, and see what we can do to help people to be able to get more money that way, but especially to save and make ends meet. So
Our third and final question for today. Emergency medical services are not considered an essential service in Wyoming, and in some areas, ambulance services do not have sustainable funding sources. Over the last 10 years, Wyoming has seen 16 EMS providers in this state fold or consolidate with another service. What solutions would you offer for ensuring access to ambulance services?
Well, again, I went out and spoke with one of our EMS services that was unable to stay open, and talked with him about the issues that they have. And he said that Medicaid and Medicare are not good about paying for the services, and those are two of the biggest insurance companies that they have issues with. But even other companies do not pay for the services like they should. So they do need to have some sort of funding from the government to be able to substantiate that. And they had gotten 300,000 at times, and he said that still wasn't enough to be able to keep it open. So we definitely need to do some research. If we have any big disasters, we do have our Castle Rock Medical Center. They have some ambulances, and our fire department has now bought a couple ambulances, but I don't feel like that's a good long-term solution. And again, we have a big surplus of money, and having it sit there, I understand we're trying to save it for a rainy day, but if EMS is not a rainy day, I don't know what would be. So I feel like we really need to look at what we can spend the money on that's actually going to help our seniors and the people of Wyoming, again, in every way possible that we can do that.
Well, Ms. McKee, thank you for answering our questions. And we want to make sure that you've got the opportunity to tell the voters of House District 39 a little bit more about yourself. So why don't we give you 2 minutes to offer your explanation on why you're the best person to represent the Fighting 39.
Sure. I am a Republican, a conservative Republican, and there's 24 platforms that our Republican Party came up with in 2022. And they are very good things for us to live by, like life, and to have religious liberties, whatever that may be for you, to have free speech. We're lacking a lot of these things right now, and we shouldn't be, because we should be living by the US Constitution and the Wyoming State Constitution. I did not really think about running. I felt like this was something that I was called by God to do for the experience, or whatever the reasoning is. I'm not sure at this point, but I just know that I want to help people. I've always had a lot of leadership skills, and I've always tried to do the right thing for people. But I really feel like we need to do some big things, like we need to protect women's spaces, which wasn't done. We need the property tax relief, not a Band-Aid. We need to truly give people some relief. We need to get into schools, and we need to go back to just basic learning. We do not need to be teaching them all these other things. I don't want to see critical race theory or diversity, equity, and inclusion in our schools. We are getting sued and paying lawsuits. There's just so much that goes into it. I don't like the books, the blue band books being in our schools. I have 4 foster kids right now that are just getting ready to be reunited with mom and dad. They're my great nieces and nephews. And I have a granddaughter also that I have a lot. And that opened my eyes to a lot of things that are going on. And I think we just got to go back to it.
Well, all right. Well, thank you very much, Ms. McKee, for your time, and thank you to our viewers for joining us in this video voters guide. We encourage you to keep checking Cowboy State Daily and AARP Wyoming's Facebook page for more voter guides in the days to come.